Amazing Lucas put out a video targeting the last Jelly, who is I guess she's a Mexican American woman. I guess she said something that is probably racist. I haven't heard what she said. I don't know. I don't even know who the fuck she is. I never heard of her until now. But I guess she says something like that can be interpreted as racism towards the black community, or maybe it is racism. I don't know. But we'll find out as we go along with this video. This is Amazing Lucas's response to her, I guess.
Dr. Claude Anderson warned us about this. Oh my goodness. So there is a viral TikTok video of this Latina chick talking boldly and ignorantly of reparations occurring here in California. Now, I hope that anyone who is under the impression of this black and brown coalition, that sentiment has expedited.
You're exacerbating it with this video. And if she's like demonizing reparations, she's also helping exacerbate it. This fucking minority infighting only does nothing but make white supremacists smile with glee. They fucking love it. The Nazis loved it when there was infighting between all the minority groups that they targeted. Like the many different sects of Christianity, the socialists, the Jews, the gays, even black people as well. There was a lot of infighting between those groups. And the Nazis loved it. They fucking loved it. All it did was make them stronger. It keeps them focused on each other and not on the issues. So yeah, thanks Amazing Lucas. You're only perpetuating this cycle that we find ourselves in.
Judiciously dissolved, because there is no such thing. All right, one thing that Dr. Claude Anderson says is that, hey, it's a competition. It's a competition of the races. But the problem is when it comes to black.
It is, and it's because of white supremacists. They perpetuate this. They love this. I mean, this may sound a little conspiratorial, but this is kind of true. Like, they don't always start these fights, but they do exacerbate them a little bit. They even promote them, and like they uplift them in a sense, and they find it very helpful because it supports their cause. It supports white supremacy. They love it. Say, yeah, you goddamn niggers and beaners, keep on fighting, boy. I'm sorry. I'm not really sorry. Well, I'm kind of sorry.
Americans, that our leaders are all kumbaya and no one else is. As we can see currently in California, when it says, hey, you're with the blacks. And when it comes to reparations or anything benefiting black Americans, you're going to get insane pushback. Why? Because we aren't supposed to be here. They never wanted us here to begin with, outside of slave labor. Nevertheless, talking about this TikTok in regards to reparations, let me just start this off from the jump, okay? Your people came over here illegally to work for 25 cents.
Jesus Christ. He's doing this fucking, this is my country argument, but from a foundational black American perspective. He is saying what a lot of these racist white conservatives will say. This is our country. You can't come here. You chose to be here, bitch. No. They do say the same shit. They really do. But now he's doing it from a different perspective where it sounds, what? It doesn't even sound woke. This just sounds like what white conservatives say. What he's about to say here is that you chose to be oppressed by white supremacists. We were forced to be oppressed by white supremacists, while ignoring the reasons why they leave in the first place. From what I read about why the majority of people leave Mexico, it's a lot. It is really bad. A lot of it is really bad barbaricism going on there, because unfortunately civilians are being negatively impacted by the very militant war on drugs that's going on in Mexico. And in America, our war on drugs is extremely bad and targets and disproportionately affects minorities. In Mexico, God, it is horrible. It literally is like looking at World War II. I'm not even joking. Like the all the violence between the cartels and like the Mexican government, it is horrible from what I've read. Like, and I've even seen videos of this. Like it's bad. It's horrifying even. And a lot of people are forced to leave a lot of these areas that are often like kind of the war zones of these areas, and a lot of like and even like in some of these areas, a lot of Mexicans don't really have very many job opportunities aside from joining cartels anyway, which is signing yourself up for a life of death, destruction, and agony. So if your option is that and living in America where it's still extremely bad because white supremacists hate you, but it's a lot better than what you ran away from, then yeah, understandable reason to run. Like it's almost like a no-brainer. Like you basically just kind of have to come here because you negatively on, and even with their fucking war on drugs, like I read that there were civilians that were raped by the Mexican police. Like, and they don't even really have generally good reasons to do it. They just there's sexual assault going on while they're like looking for criminals. A lot of them even assume that certain civilians are criminals because they're just that militant in their war on drugs. And a lot of this war on drugs in America was funded by a lot of the war on drugs in Mexico was funded by America because America's evil. Fuck America. But yeah, it's a number of things because a lot of unfortunate civilians are caught in a crossfire between the Mexican government and the um the cartels, and the cartels also like doing horrible things to civilians along with the Mexican government, and it is just a hellhole. And it not the Mexico in its entirety is not like this, but the majority of people that are coming to America from Mexico have no choice but to come to America because they're running from those areas. Why they don't run towards the other areas, um, there's probably geographical reasons for that. Because if they could, they would. I 100% believe they would if they could, but they probably can't because it's not easy to travel to other areas in Mexico. And I guess the ones that they are traveling to is they're in closer proximity to America, so that's like their best option to run away from all of this stuff. And even in like the quote better areas, they're not really safe from all of the horrible shit going on in Mexico anyway. So it's a very complex issue. It yeah, their best option was just running away. That makes sense.
My ancestors were forced over here to work for free. We are not the same. And I mean that respectfully. We are not the same.
The conditions are not the same, but the reality is both parties are forced to be here in America with all of its shit conditions.
Don't try and compare your struggles and your history to black Americans because you're going to fall flat. You're always going to lose that, okay? If you don't like how you're being treated, then leave. Go back to your home country. Go back to your origins.
This is
all right?
just,
it's as simple as that.
This is just racism. Conservative white racists say the exact same thing he's saying right here. This is literally no different. He's just saying it from a quote pro-black perspective.
If you don't like reparations, I've told people time and time and time again, leave.
This I don't know how many Mexicans are against reparations anyway.
As many debts as it has. If you don't like the debts, the country using your tax dollars, which is not even the case for reparations, but regardless, if you don't like that,
taxes should go into reparations. Like, how many Mexican, here's the best case scenario for me, right? Mexicans should have an easier time, being part of American citizenship. There's that. And then being part of American citizenship, they'll, pay taxes. So, yeah, and our taxes will fund our government. and the government will be funding reparations. It's a win-win for everyone. And Texas should also fund, you know, food, healthcare, everything that people need, that, poor people need, which is disproportionately black people and Mexican immigrants. So, there is that. That's my best case scenario. And that's honestly the world that I fight for and advocate for as a leftist anyway. So, you know.
Then leave. You're more than welcome to renounce your citizenship and vamonos. Simple as that, okay? Comprende? Moving forward, you have this Latina chick talking about, oh, Latinos are 40% of the population and they just want to not work.
Newsom in California wants to hand out $500 billion in reparations.
Over 40% of the population in California is Latino. You're having people who are the object of persecution pay for the reparations of people who just don't want to work.
I don't even know what that means, okay? Oppressed in this country as a Latino. I don't know what that means. If what you mean is that you come here illegally, okay? You break our laws,
what?
And then you want to feed off
he sounds just like the white supremacists and conservatives that he hates so much. He's using their language only to fucking promote racism against the group that he seemingly does not like. Like, he's using generalizing language, because, like, just criticize her. Why are you making this about Mexicans broadly? This is just racism.
Off of, as far as my ancestors' work here, that's what you mean? As far as by oppress or some type of oppression or whatever you think you're going through? No. And here's the thing, I don't know why you would come here anyway. If it's that bad for y'all, why would you come here anyway? Why don't you go and stay where you are? Stay in your place of origin, Mexico, wherever you're from, and build that up, right? Build up that place, okay? Don't come over here looking for work.
This is fucking stupid. This dichotomy that he's setting up is retarded. Because they shouldn't feel obligated to fix the hellhole that they escaped from. Like, really, it is that horrible. It's like, if you can't handle, like, that war zone, that is completely understandable, totally valid if you want to run away from that, and you're just simply asking for better outcomes and less racism from white people. How horrible, right?
Work. You should be able to find work where you came from, right? It doesn't benefit your place of origin. It doesn't benefit your familia. All right? If they still live in poverty, if they still live in the dilapidated areas, you should want.
They mostly bring most Mexicans that migrate over here. They bring their families with them, and if they can't, they go back and bring them later. I believe that's usually what happens. It's like, even if they don't bring their family with them, they bring their family with them later anyway. The fuck is he talking about?
Want to build up that place instead of coming over here. Secondly, when it comes to not wanting to work, I don't even know what you're talking about. This is such an ahistorical perspective on history that it's mind-blowing. But once again, I don't expect a lot of people to know Black history because they don't care. Now,
a lot of people don't understand Black history. A lot of Black people don't understand Black history because America doesn't want to teach that stuff for obvious reasons. But again, this is not a criticism of Mexicans. He's making this about Mexicans. This is a criticism. He should be criticizing this dumb bitch, if anyone. But he's not doing that. He's making this about the Mexican community broadly. It makes no sense. It's stupid. Because I don't even think, like, the majority of the Mexican community even agrees with her talking points. So this is just like the most bad faith video ever. It's just really bad faith.
When it comes to history, Black people have always worked. We are working to this day. The only difference is, you want to know what the only difference is? Everyone here was coming here for an American dream. Okay? Latinos, the Irish, the Italians, the
That's not true. Goddamn, full of dumbass talking points. That's not true. I've already explained why Mexicans like come here anyway. They're running away from something. They're not running towards better opportunities. This is a fucking lie that white supremacists peddle to make America look like a fucking to make America look like heaven when it's really not. It doesn't even live up to the American dream. The idea of the American dream is better in other areas. Like Canada's a lot closer to the American dream than America is. The idea of it. No, people don't, and the majority of the people outside of Mexico that come here were already wealthy to begin with. They come here because they know wealthy people just get benefits here as well. They like the they like the wealth divide. And this is one of the best places that isn't a third world country that has a really wonderful wealth divide for rich people.
Japanese, everyone coming here for the American dream. The only difference is for black Americans, we didn't know what that was. There was no American dream here. You guys were taught, hey, if I work hard, then I can succeed. Black Americans weren't taught that. Do you want to know what we were taught? We were taught that if we work hard, we get nothing. Because this country exploited.
No, both part everyone is lied to. Hell, even poor people are lied to about that. If you just they promote this because like conservatives and Republicans promote this fucking pull yourself up by the bootstraps bullshit, like alluding to this false idea that if you just work hard, you too can make it and get out. This is what they say to black people all the time. They want to say that there's no like racial disparities while in promoting this pull yourself up by the bootstraps ideology to fucking prove their dumbass point.
Us for our labor and gave us nothing back. They didn't pay us for our labor. This was free labor. That's what it was. It was free labor. You guys were taught, work hard, I get something in return. My answers were taught, work hard.
They're lied to.
And you get a
Black
B.
people are also lied. These
work
days,
hard, you
it's
get
a lie.
ration. Work hard, you barely get any rations. Okay? Work hard, you get nothing. You get called, next to, less than a freaking bug. All right? You don't even get your humanity recognized, even though your work.
White supremacists don't recognize Mexican immigrants as humans either. Honestly, they want to go back to slavery, but they use this pull yourself up by the bootstraps lie to keep black people complacent and other minority groups complacent. See here's what the white supremacists want to do. They want to like kill and murder all Mexicans that are here in our borders or exile them and then enslave black people. And if they can't do that, then they'll just kill us and exile us and send us back to Africa or something.
Working hard. So please stop with this white supremacist talking point of not wanting to work. Okay? Because we did work. We've been working and we are still working, or else we wouldn't be here. Okay? We wouldn't be here. All these opportunities that you want to come over here and just work hard for, who do you think they came from? Hi, you're welcome.
California is home to over 11 million immigrants.
He's a foundational black American. Well, he identifies as a foundational black American. What he's saying is true though. Like America was basically built off the backs of African slaves. So like that is true. But using that to fucking shit on Mexicans who are dealt a poor hand by white supremacists that benefit off of black labor is disgusting, honestly. He's trying to say that there's no racism against them, almost. So what it sounds like he's saying, which is obviously not true, because they basically did a fucking horrible dehumanizing shit to Mexican immigrants, sterilizing them even, and God, separating children from their families and shit. Horrible. And all the quote benefits that they get anyway, They don't get the benefits. They're gatekept behind. They're gatekept from white people that hate them. So no, they don't even get that. The benefits that we as quote foundational Black Americans gave them, they don't get them. White supremacists don't want them to have it because Black Mexicans are still disproportionately poor. Mexicans still get like. Here's the funny thing, right? Mexicans, like on average, do more of the hard labor, get more of the hard labor jobs because that's what like most like companies owned by you know disproportionately rich white people will hire them for because they have this view that Mexicans are like inherently like hardworking individuals, so they will more likely hire Mexicans for all of their hard labor jobs like construction and all and maybe even being a plumber. All of those hands-on like hard labor jobs, they will disproportionately be available for Mexicans. And Mexicans disproportionately don't have any other opportunities outside of that. So yeah, even Mexicans now in America are technically building up this country even further than where it was beforehand. And and Lucas is trying to say that they're not hard working and they're not being oppressed or they're just essentially sounds like he's saying they're lazy, which is fucking weird. White supremacists say this exact same thing. Now let's see what this dumb bitch has to say.
Immigrants from all over the world, not just Latinos. Immigrants who came here with less than nothing, not being able to speak English, who managed to build their wealth without leeching off of other Americans.
And ironically, that's precisely the point. She wants to talk about building wealth. Black people weren't allowed to build wealth. That's the crazy.
We are now, kind of. And even the Mexicans that build their wealth, even they had to fight hurdles. Like there are wealthy Black people and wealthy Mexicans, but that doesn't mean that there's no discrimination or racial disparities between both of those groups and white people, because white people are still disproportionately rich. And I believe the ones that are rich now, I don't know if they even quote built up that wealth. I believe they started off well and then they ended up getting even better.
Crazy part. We weren't allowed to build wealth. There was laws in the books prohibiting us. We couldn't even read. I mean, there was laws. I want you to understand, laws saying, hey, you can't read. There was laws talking about where they have as far as in medicine, where they're talking about, hey, if this slave wants to be free, they have an illness. That's what they have. Please miss me with this nonsense, okay? Please miss with this nonsense, because it seems that your parent could have been, you should get your parent this shirt, okay, for Christmas. It would make a very good Christmas gift.
Wait. They leashed off Black labor as the government welcomed non-Black immigrants and funded non-Black business prospects, all while codifying anti-Black sentiments. Black Americans are a planned minority in this country. Yes, true. That's true. I wonder what he means by they. Is he talking about Mexicans? Please don't be talking about Mexicans. This is what white people do. White people leached off of Black labor. They did.
Then she goes on to talk about, hey, there was only 1,500 slaves and they all worked in mining.
Up until 1848, California belonged to Mexico. Slavery ended in 1860. There was only over 1,500 slaves in California and their only job was mining. They didn't build California at all.
What? I don't even know where she gets this number. She just pulls it straight out of her, her U-Haul, okay? That's where she pulls this number and worked in mining. Listen, the funny part is that it actually echoes the point that she was talking about in the first part, which is building wealth. This was during the gold rush, boo-boo. And it wasn't just in mining. It was a variety of domestic places and field. But this was during the gold rush.
Wait a minute. In 1884, when the gold rush hit, the Southerners flocked to the state with hundreds of enslaved Black people, forcing them to toil in gold mines, often hiring them to cook, serve, or perform a variety of labor. Sometimes fortunes were amassed in the backs of free labor. Yet California's place in national history of slavery is missing from the most historical accounts, and many are surprised to learn of this practice in the gold state. Okay.
Which they weren't even allowed to partake in. Do you understand? Like chattel slavery. This is what, it's very interesting how I've noticed many of these anti-black races love to give this very diluted take, right? This very diluted and cryptic wording when it comes to black history. Oh, they were immigrants. Oh, it was mining. No, it was chattel slavery. And the crazy part was that in California,
He's right.
they had outlawed slavery, and yet it was still happening. And the reason why is because many of
It wasn't even just California. It was the entirety of America. Even after like slavery was quote unquote illegal, like they still practiced it. Like, but they use like they even do. It's even harsher version of what they do now, where like, prison labor. You get charged of a crime and now you have to perform harsh labor for the state. They did this back then. It was a harsher version of what it is now, but this never ended. Obviously, that's how you know that systemic racism still exists, because the war on drugs again disproportionately affects black people, and actually disproportionately affects Mexican Americans as well. Unfortunately, it's bad. They don't like if you have dark skin, then fuck you. You're a white passing Mexican, then good for you. Good for you. You're one of the good ones. It's just if you're brown or indigenous Mexican, Afro Latino, what have you, you're fucked. You will suffer these disparities as well.
Of those in positions of power in the legislature came from the South. They migrated from the South and came here. So when people came, when they were doing slavery, if you have a Southerner as a law enforcement or a Southerner as a judge, they're going to turn a blind eye to slavery because they're pro-slavery. So they were enacting slavery, chattel slavery, even though their state constitution said, hey, slavery is outlawed. I want you to understand that. That's some sick stuff right there. In many cases, in one case actually, there was a lawsuit where free black slaves, freedmen, had been building a business, okay? It had taken advantage of the gold rush. Guess what happened? Bunch of white men broke into their place and said, hey, you have to go back to your owner. These were freedmen.
Yep.
All right? They were freedmen.
This is a
because
common
you wanna
practice.
know why? California
was a common
taking a
practice
part
back then,
of
even after
the
slavery was
Fugitive
outlawed.
Slave Act. That's correct. They were taking part of that. So please miss me with this nonsense of, oh, y'all didn't build this. Oh, you just want free. Oh, you don't know anything about this country. That's why you should probably leave it, to be honest with you, because I take that as a sign of disrespect.
You see what I'm talking about here? You see what I'm talking about? Like, can we not do this shit? Like, seriously. Like, he was right on the money. He was actually speaking truth there. And then he decided to do racism. Like, why? What's the fucking point? Why? Just call her a bitch even. Call her a fucking whore and a cow. A dumbass piece of shit cunt fuckwad. An uneducated piece of shit. Dog shit ass bitch. Fucking ugly ass, stupid ass, fucking dumbass bitch. Say what, everything's off. You can say whatever the fuck you want to about this bitch, and I won't have a problem with you whatsoever. It's when you start saying like shit like go back to your country. It's just, this doesn't just, because then you're not just talking about her, you're talking about Mexicans broadly. Seriously.
Me and my ancestry lineage. That's what I take it as. So I would be quiet. But in the case that I'm referring to, guess what happened? Okay? What had happened was after they'd been freed, well, the white guy was like, nah, he reported them as runaways. Now, under the Fugitive Slave Act, you run away, you return back to the owner. Guess what? The slaves hired a lawyer. There was a black lawyer. Black lawyer went to court and lost the case. They lost the case, and those men had to be returned back to the white man. Imagine that. Matter of fact, when it comes to they didn't build anything, do you know anything about Biddy Mason? Like, do you know anything about where you at right now? Biddy Mason, actually, one of the Mormons built, they thrived on slave labor within California, San Bernardino, as a matter of fact. To the point that was flourishing okay, who was flourishing, Biddy Mason, upon being free, she actually became a realtor, a philanthropist. She built one of the first schools here in Los Angeles for black kids. That's what she did. It's crazy how these individuals come out from these, these we'll say less than fortunate areas, these less than fortunate states, come over here.
There are hellholes. I hate to put it like that. I'm sorry to say that, but it's true. I've seen too much, read too much. Like, I've even seen video of all the it's a war zone up there. I'm not even kidding. There's videos of like firefights between cartels and the Mexican government. It's horrible, and it was also like horrible. I've already described all of this. It's bad. I've already described how bad it is. You're putting it lightly there, my friend.
And then get a big chest about black Americans, right? They get put their nose in the air to black Americans. And then she just goes on to say, we just want to become citizens.
Not to mention that Latinos are part Native American, which they were slaves as well, and massacred at 90% of the population.
All right, she's kind of stupid here because plenty of black Americans are also part indigenous. Like, there are Jesus Christ. There are indigenous Mexicans. There are, and I believe the majority of black people are like in some part like have indigenous blood in them. I know I am part Native American. Like, I forget what tribe it is, but I'm part Native American myself. So like, and I'm pretty sure Lucas probably is too. I mean, the chances are he probably is. A lot of us are. This whole idea that I don't know what she's getting at here. What is she trying to say by saying, well, well, my people are part indigenous. Nigga, so are we. What the fuck you talking about? It's not an argument. It's just a non-argument. It's an anti-argument. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't mean anything.
This is probably the most ridiculous bill that Democrats have tried to pass. All Latinos want is citizenship and the ability to work in America. Well, you have Americans trying to live off the tax dollars of Latinos who are still persecuted in America to this day.
There's a citizenship process.
What bill is she talking about?
Don't come here illegally, and you won't have to worry about that. It's not that difficult. But I want you to understand, you're breaking the law to this country and then asking us to do you a favor. You're being disrespectful to the people who built this country, and then asking us to do you a favor when it comes to citizenship. This is the most bipolar schizophrenic take that I've heard in quite some time.
Wait, does Lucas have a problem with Mexicans like being easily eligible for American citizenship? I really hope that's not what he's saying here, because that doesn't make any sense. And using the "this is my country" argument to say that, gross. That's just weird. That's really weird to me. Dude, no.
I would suggest, black people, is that we start taking notes. We start taking notes. This is not a friend, okay? This is an enemy. That's what this is. And unfortunately, our leaders have been compromised. We got to get on point. We got to eradicate these individuals, get them out of office, because they are going to be the downfall to us as a people. You have to understand this. This new generation of these other groups, they're not messing around. They're not messing around at all. And as we can see by this ignorant, asinine TikTok video, this girl is boldly speaking just stupidity, okay? For lack of better words, that's what it is, just stupidity. And it's willful ignorance. However, you have to understand, we're the only group that has such an attack on us. We have attacks from Latino, whites, Asians, and even in some cases our own. We have black Americans they sambos and they put up on TV and they air out. Okay, they tout them. Then we have foreigners coming to the country that are anti-black. We're getting hit at all directions. We need to dot our I's and cross our T's, because this anti-black rhetoric, this anti-black racism is going to be, it's going to go through the roof. And if we're on a rocky foundation, it's going to crumble. Just letting you know. Anyways, guys, that's the video. Let me know what you guys think. Whether or not you believe Lucas, no, she spoke truth, okay? She was speaking truth. She's very brave. She's brave, okay? That's what she is. Or if you have believe, no, she's actually very ignorant. And it's painful, blissful ignorance. She has no idea what she's talking about, nor she has any respect for the black Americans that got her here, okay? And to say undocumented, Lord, I don't even know what to tell you. Listen, you're a criminal. That's what you are. What? You came here illegal, you're a criminal. Just like everyone else in the prisons and the jails.
White supremacist talking
points. You can call it colorful language, undocumented, but you're a criminal. You illegally came here to a country that you had no business being in. Who cares about the law? If you don't like it, all right, no one's forcing you to stay here, like they did with us.
Why is he upholding laws, like, of the American government? The same government that put forth laws that were inherently anti-black and promoted our slavery and even allowed black people to go back to slavery after it was quote-unquote illegal. Yeah, those were American laws. And now you're upholding, like, horrible, really disgusting laws that are anti-Mexican as long as it's not black. That isn't... He's like, American law is bad unless it's unless it harms the people that I don't necessarily... It's not that he doesn't like Mexicans. I don't even think it's just about that. I think he just doesn't give a shit. I think he does not care.
Okay? We try to leave. Ask Marcus Garvey. We try to leave. Fred Hampton. We try to leave. Okay? Nobody worries about you leaving. The only difference is that those who are here, we're not going to do the same work for such minimal pay. That's really the difference. Nevertheless, if you happen to disagree with this video, you're more than welcome to call in during disagreement days, which are typically held Friday through Sunday. There'll be a number on screen. You call in, we duke it out. Either or, hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please feel free to like, share, comment, subscribe. Oh, that fun stuff. Till next time, guys, be amazing. Comprende?
I just think it's incredibly weird that he's going to defend the same institutions that pretty much kept us in chains even after it was written in law that enslaving us was bad. So, like, granting Mexican citizenship is like, well, now we can uphold that law that Mexicans don't deserve citizenship or whatever, and now framing them as criminals. The problem is they shouldn't be criminals. Who gives a shit if they are or aren't? Whatever. Let's not... In my opinion, they just aren't criminals. Just wanting to be here is not enough to make someone a criminal. But, give me a second. I am curious about something. So I did find her TikTok. This chick is really fucking stupid. Listen to this.
Congress passed a $1.7 trillion spending bill that would allocate $410 million to protecting borders in the Middle East, but not our borders. Because funding American borders is racist, but funding other nations' borders is not. I'll be doing a few videos on the 1.7.
I'll just let that one speak for itself. Here's another TikTok by her, which is also filled with stupidity. Listen to this one. Let me see. She's criticizing Biden here on his
surge
border
to the
policy.
border. All those people are seeking asylum. They deserve to be heard. That's who we are. We're a nation that says if you want to flee and you're fleeing oppression, you should come.
Immediately after it was announced that Joe Biden had won the presidency, the border crisis started, and it's been breaking records ever since. Not to mention the insane amount of migrants wearing the Biden t-shirts. The clips of Biden telling immigrants to come were playing all over Latino America. They went viral. He pretty much ran on this platform to pander to Latino votes, has done absolutely nothing to help migrants. And they'll do absolutely nothing to help migrants because the moment they give migrants citizenship, they can't keep using them for cheap labor. It's a cycle of abuse. Not to mention...
Here's the thing that she conveniently left out. The thing that here's what Trump put forward, like, before Biden became president, which is what's nicknamed the Stay in Mexico Act, which is like where immigrants or asylum seekers were trying to gain citizenship, but they had to stay in Mexico until they arbitrarily decide whether or not will allow you to be to even become a citizen in this country. Biden pretty much ended that thing, which would make it easier for Mexican immigrants to apply for citizenship. But the Supreme Court uh basically kind of forced him to reinstate that because I forget what it was. Hold on a second. We have it right here actually. Me the number of migrant encounters. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Hold on, I got it. Oh, there it is. Yeah, this is one. Biden reinstated in December 2021 a Trump era policy that requires those who arrive in U.S. Mexico border and seek asylum to wait in Mexico while their claims are processed. Biden had earlier ended the migration protection protocols, or the quote "remain in Mexico" policy, and then restarted it after the U.S. Supreme Court upheld a lawsuit by Texas and Missouri that challenged the program's closure. Asylum seekers do not receive a legal status that allows them to live and work in the U.S. until the claim is approved. So this isn't Biden's fault. This is Trump's fault and the Supreme Court's fault, as well as Texas and Missouri. Biden essentially had no choice. Like, he legally had no choice in the matter whatsoever. So yeah, he tried, but he couldn't. He really tried.
Mentioned that the Biden administration has lost 20,000 migrant children. People lost their minds when
Yeah, they did lose track of this is true. They did lose track of 20,000 children actually. I don't know if this is I don't know if Biden really had much to do with this. I think majority of this was outside of the Biden administration's control, because pretty much the same results occurred like even under Trump's administration. Only this time we lost a lot more. It's not like that we really lost them necessarily. We lost track of them. We had no idea where they are. Like, and they're trying to like call them, or they're like guardians, but like nobody would answer their calls. It could be that they're choosing not to answer the calls, or that they just can't for one reason or another. It's an unfortunate situation. It's really unfortunate. But the way she's simplifying it here is dishonest, because she's trying to say that the Biden administration is just like, they don't care. They're only just pandering to you to get votes, which is true. They probably don't care, but it's not like they aren't like actually trying to do something about this, because again, the Biden administration tried, whether they cared or not. They tried, but they couldn't, because Missouri, Trump, and, Supreme Court, all that shit.
the Trump administration had 500 kids who they didn't know who their parents were, but they had the kids. 20,000 kids, over 20,000 kids have gone missing, and nobody cares.
All those people are seeking
That's not
asylum.
true. The whole nobody cares thing is not true, because I believe they're still actively trying to reach out to these children to find out where the hell they are. So when I was looking through her TikTok, I couldn't find her original video because unfortunately it has been removed, because the woke mob is trying to cancel her, I guess. But yeah, I want to Jesus Christ. Let me stop fucking scam calls. I just want to criticize her video isolated from Lucas's thing, but I couldn't find it, so like this is the best I could do. This is someone else talking about it, but this, I hope, is the uncut version. So this is like in the section of the video. Here it is.
Watch this video to the end. Let's go.
Newsom in California wants to hand out $500 billion in reparations.
Over 40% of the population in California is Latino. You're having people who are the object of persecution pay for the reparations of people who just don't want to work. California is home to over...
Yeah, so me criticizing Lucas there was not a defense of this dumb fucking retarded ass bitch right here. Like, seriously. None of it was. This fucking brain dead piece of shit. Not even, okay, sorry. She's not brain dead. She's not stupid. She's just garbage. Framing black people as people who just, quote, don't want to work is as dishonest as it gets. It really, well, it's just blatant lying and stupidity and evil. She's just a piece of shit. Because there are plenty of black people that work. And, of course, Mexicans also do hard labor as well. Black and brown people do harsh labor. They just do. Mexicans disproportionately do more of the, hands-on, harder labor. But, saying that black people just don't want to work is a very, popular white supremacist talking point to use to describe, the entire black community. Even though, like Lucas said, this whole country has been built off of slave labor, off of work that black people have done. This bitch is fucking stupid and ridiculous. And the talking point where black people, quote, don't want to work is based on, you want to know what it's based on? Nothing. This idea that black people don't want to work does not pan out in reality. There's no legitimate data on this. There's nothing that can support this dumb fuck ideology. It doesn't mean anything. It's stupid and brain dead. And the only way you could actually support that argument is if you are stupid, you're a liar, and you're evil. What else is there to say?
Over 11 million immigrants from all over the world, not just Latinos. Immigrants who came here with less than nothing, not being able to speak English, who managed to build their wealth without leeching off of other Americans. Up until 1848, California belonged to Mexico.
She's a piece of shit. She just is. She's saying black people don't build wealth too. Like there aren't any rich black people in America. You're literally just trying to say that black people don't, pull themselves up by the bootstraps and build their own wealth, because there are plenty that do, even though the majority of your people aren't wealthy. Same thing with black. The majority of people that are rich and like wealthy even are not black or Mexican or just brown in any capacity. It's mostly white people. And even like out of the rich like Hispanics that you find, they're white Hispanics.
Slavery ended in 1860. There was only over 1,500 slaves in California, and their only job was mining. They didn't build California at all. If you look at any construction working team in California, mostly Latinos. Slaves didn't build California. Free people with dreams did. Not to mention that Latinos are partners.
Fucking stupid. Yeah, Lucas already, like, legitimately, he was right in debunking what she did, because it was built off of fucking slave labor. Fucking dumbass bitch. I hate this woman so much. She is right wing, by the way. She is one of those fucking dumbass pick me Mexican conservative pieces of shit. And she's just garbage all around. All of this is garbage all around. Fuck these people. Fuck people like this. Fuck people like her. Fuck people like Lucas. Fuck all of these foundational black American pieces of shit. Because you know what they are? It's just a dog whistle for fuck every minority group except for black people, essentially. And then they look at people like this, and then like this dumb bitch, and then say that represents the majority of that minority group, which is not even true by a long shot. This woman is an anomaly. She's a pick-me. She's trying to appeal to the white conservative narrative and get ahead in popularity. She's just dumb. I hate her. Anyway, I think I'm done here. I'll catch y'all later. Peace.
We've got to split. Can you dig it? These job takers are gonna try to take our bread.
Oh no! I'm in a predicament. What am I gonna do? I gotta find a way to hide. Phew! That was close. I was able to elude the boys in blue. Now I can get away free. You know how I do.